thermal energy, that is solar thermal power generation. So we can convert thermal energy in solar radiation into electricity using power cycles. What do you mean by power cycles? The combination of process or thermodynamic cycle in which the work output is obtained, mechanical work output is obtained. So there are two principal forms into which solar radiation can be converted. They are heat and electricity. Either we can use the thermal form of energy as such for heating or drying. We have seen many applications, right? Secondly, with the help of second law of thermodynamics, undergoing the limitations of second law of thermodynamics, we can convert that intermediate form, that is thermal energy in the hot water or hot air, into electricity. So thermal radiation should be first absorbed or converted to hot water or steam or hot air, then later it will be converted to electricity using suitable power cycle. So these are some examples of power cycles. Rankine cycle, which is a vapor power cycle. We have studied the power plant in thermodynamics, right? Where we are using water in a boiler to generate steam. Then that steam will be running the steam turbine. And the turbine will convert the thermal form of energy into mechanical energy, and later mechanical energy will be converted to electricity using an electric generator. So that is Rankine cycle, which is the power cycle employed in steam turbine power plant or thermal power plant. So we may have to use or we may require the working fluid or the temperature requirement from the solar system to be of the order of 100 degrees Celsius. So we can use concentrated collectors or simply some flat plate collector with additional concentrators. In the case of Rankine cycle, where we use organic working fluids, low boiling point working fluid instead of water. In Rankine cycle, we no need to use always water as a working fluid. That is not required. We can use any low boiling point fluids such as liquid potassium, liquid sodium. So this temperature of 100 degrees Celsius would be suffice for running the power plant. There are other power cycles, namely Brayton cycle, Stirling cycle, where we may require a higher temperature range of the order of 150 to 500 degrees Celsius. So there are three major categories in the solar thermal power generation system. Please note it down. This is very important. There are two major categories in the solar thermal power generation system are tower concept and farm concept. Tower concept is centralized system. You have seen the power tower, solar power tower with heliostats focusing onto a point. Right, that is the tower concept. And farm concept, there will be different collectors, different working fluids, where we are concentrating the solar energy onto a line instead of a point. That is distributed system. There will be several collectors and the hot fluid from the different collectors will be collected onto a single storage point. In the case of a centralized system, there is a single point onto which the different collectors will be focusing the solar energy. So these are the two major categories in the solar thermal power generation. So based on the temperature availability from the solar thermal collectors, we can classify the power cycles or solar thermal power generation systems into three: low temperature, medium temperature, and high temperature. Obviously, the high temperature cycles will be utilizing the point concentrating systems or central receivers, whereas medium temperature cycles will be using line focusing collectors, and low temperature cycles will be utilizing flat plate collectors or solar ponds. Yesterday we have seen the solar ponds, right? So this is the working principle of any of these three categories, whether it is low, medium or high temperature power generation systems. The principle of operation remains the same. The energy is first collected using a solar pond or a flat plate collector or a focusing collector. Then this energy is used to increase the internal energy or temperature of a working fluid. The working fluid could be water, most common, air, or any low boiling point fluids. Right? So first we need to collect using greenhouse effect. Right? Collection, then transfer of that heat to a working fluid. Then third step is this fluid may be directly used in Rankine-Brayton or Stirling cycles, or it can be passed through a heat exchanger to heat a secondary fluid. So these are the three steps: collection, transfer of the energy to a working fluid, then utilization of that energy. So either we can use the energy collected by the fluid as such, or we can utilize that energy to heat a secondary fluid. So it depends on the application and the temperature range of the working fluid. We can decide on that. So coming to the first category, low temperature systems, the collection is done using a flat plate collector or a solar pond. So organic working fluids in the Freon group. Have you heard about Freon? These are most commonly used in refrigerators as working fluid. So this evaporates quickly at low temperature. So in low temperature systems, the maximum temperature is available is 100 degrees Celsius. So low boiling point fluid should be used as the working fluid in low temperature systems. That's why we are preferring to organic fluids. So vapor formed can be used to run a turbine generator system to produce electricity. So turbine is a device to convert thermal form of energy to mechanical energy. Generator is electric generator, obviously will convert mechanical energy to electrical energy. Then Rankine cycle solar thermal power generation system, for example, is used to generate up to 10 kilowatts of electricity, 10 kilowatts of electric power. So this is a schematic diagram. As you can see here, there is a collector. We may employ booster mirrors to get the entire diffused radiation onto this flat plate collector. There is a pump is used to regulate the flow or ensure the continuous flow of working fluid throughout the collector. Then it will be stored in a storage tank. The hot working fluid, after absorbing the energy, thermal energy from the flat plate collectors, will be stored in a storage tank, and there is a heat exchanger and a secondary fluid where this working fluid in the collector will be transferring the thermal energy collected to a secondary working fluid in this heat exchanger called vapor generator. Okay. Now that vapor formed from the secondary working fluid will be flowing to the passing through the turbine, steam turbine at around 90 to 100 degrees Celsius, which will be converting the thermal form of energy to mechanical energy. Then there will be a generator to convert this mechanical energy to electricity. Then the used steam will be passed on to the condenser, where it will be condensing back from vapor to liquid phase, and the temperature is reduced. Then a pump is used to maintain the circulation, to raise the pressure from low to high, again back to the vapor generator. Fine. Now this cycle, this primary loop, this is the primary loop, okay, containing the flat plate collector. This is the secondary loop containing the power cycle. Fine. The working fluid, after transferring, rejecting heat to the secondary fluid, goes back to the storage tank, from where it is getting pumped back onto the flat plate collector. Right? So this is a cycle. There are two loops, primary loops and secondary loop. So this is a low temperature power generation cycle using liquid flat plate collector. You can use, instead of flat plate collector, you can use a solar pond also. A concentrating, a low temperature concentrating type system also you can use. So these are the features. Overall efficiency, you see, pretty less, only 2%. That is a major problem of solar thermal systems or a solar photovoltaic system. All the renewable energy systems, especially solar and ocean, are suffering from poor efficiency. So any work related to increasing the efficiency of such systems, existing systems, would be a great opportunity for research and contribution to the society. So please have a thought on that, how to increase the efficiency of the existing solar thermal systems. Now, in the low temperature systems, another important category of solar thermal power plant is a solar chimney. Solar chimney power plant is another low temperature solar thermal power generation system. This concept was suggested in 1970s. It is also called as a solar updraft tower power plant. So, as we are going to see in the next slide, the energy will be trapped in a greenhouse, okay, a conical greenhouse. The energy contained in the updraft power is converted into mechanical energy by a turbine on the way in the upward motion. So, such solar chimney power plants are not in operation till today. Only experimental pilot plants are being tested in and around the world. There is an experimental pilot plant at Spain of the capacity 5 kilowatts. The chimney height is 195 meters with a diameter of 10.3 meters. Diameter circular shaped chimney is having diameter of 10.3 meters and having a height of 195 meters. Solar collector area, again surrounding the chimney, the collector area should be is of the order of 122 meters. I will show you the diagram. Yeah. So this vertical cylindrical shaped structure is the chimney or tower. And at the bottom you can see the glazing, where you can collect and create greenhouse effect using this solar collector. This can be flat or slightly slanted, sloped, conical shape, and you can see the openings here where the air can enter. So this is a turbine and this is a generator. Turbine is at the entry to the turbine. So the working is like this. There will be a slight gap at the bottom for the air to enter. So since glazing is provided, glazing is equivalent to a glass in a glass cover in a flat plate collector. So thermal radiation, solar thermal radiation will be falling onto this glazing or cover, and the air trapped beneath this cover, that is under this cover, will get heated up. Due to greenhouse effect, the solar thermal energy will be trapped under the glazing, and the the air will get heated up. When a fluid is getting heated up, what will happen? It will try to rise. The only opening for the air to escape out from there is this chimney. This is the opening. Air will the hot air will try to rise up. So air has to pass through this chimney to escape out from the trapping. So on the way of the hot air, a turbine is placed. So as a result of the air motion, the natural motion, the hot air will always be moving upwards. So that natural motion is utilized to run this micro turbine, air turbine. That motion of the turbine will be transferred to this generator using suitable gear mechanism to increase the speed and all. This generator will produce electricity. Right? So this is the simplest working of a solar chimney power plant. So this is the maximum possible efficiency of a solar chimney power plant. G is the acceleration due to gravity, H is the height of the chimney, Cp is the specific heat of air, Ta is the atmospheric or ambient temperature. Very less efficiency if you substitute the previously given values of H as 195 meters and the Cp value for air as 1.005 kilojoule per kilogram Kelvin, and ambient temperature we may take as even 30 degrees Celsius converted to Kelvin, you will get the efficiency as very less. So these are the two types of low temperature solar thermal power generation systems. Okay. So we will continue in the next class with the medium and high temperature systems.